Okay, we're in the track number 6, cycles. I've been working on the chordal scale. This is a progress report more than me trying to teach you something. This is what I've been doing with this material about the chordal scale. She gives a couple fingerings. I recently re-enrolled in Jimmy Bruno's guitar workshop, and he starts you off with 5 fingerings. So I'm trying to play the chordal scale within the 5 fingerings. There are other ways to do it. There are shifts, lots of things you can do, but I'm trying to do this one thing. And the first fingering in the key of C is what he calls fingering 5. You can think of it as a Mixolydian fingering. But if we're starting in the key of C, and we run out of room, so that's the chordal scale in that fingering, that position. Which, I mean, that's C. If you're playing it here, it's F. You know, you can move around. The next one is fingering 6. If you're thinking in terms of caged, this would be like a G chord. But if we're doing the chordal scale here, we can start here. Ideally, you would start on the lowest available note, but I'm not doing that now because one thing at a time. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next one is, he calls fingering 7, which most of us learned is just a 2-octave major scale. Most of us learned it probably first right there in G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next one is Dorian, or he calls it fingering 2 because you're starting on the 2nd degree. I'm not trying to teach you these fingerings. I'm showing you what I'm working from. It's how I'm applying this. You may want to do the same thing. You may be doing something else. You may be doing now what I'll be doing 6 months from now. You never know. So C starts here in this fingering. This fingering starts on the 2nd degree, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we got to go 6, 7, 8. Wait, 7. No, 7. Ah, there it is. 7. 7. That's 8. This is 7. That's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And the final one is what he calls fingering 3 because it starts on the 3rd degree of the major scale. I think this is the one that is related to the C form of a chord. If you're thinking in terms of caged, I know this would be G because I can just see how that would look. And this would be E because that's just how it would look. I mean, I didn't learn them as caged fingers. This one, I don't know what it is. I guess that's the D form, right? Anyway, we're bound to this one, down to this one. So we're starting with 1. I'm forgetting what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about enough of that, isn't it? So that's just the chordal scale in those positions in those fingerings. And it's easy to see that some start, this is the easiest one. I mean, I'm most familiar with this. And this one too. The E and A root of the major chord. Those shapes, those voices. The others, not as familiar with yet, will get as familiar with them. I'm not used to playing the chordal scale in those positions at all. But I think it's good for me to do it because it's really making me understand the notes better when I'm in different positions, not just in terms of what note, but like where I'm playing on what I'm thinking of. This is the root, the third, the fifth. And it helps me learn things, I think, quicker because I'm thinking in terms of the intervals, and it seems that I'm finding it a little easier if I've looked at something on a page and I'm trying to play without looking at it and kind of remembering and feeling my way through it. I seem to be a little better at that. I hope there's more improvement down the road, but that's something I'm doing with this lesson, the cycles, the chordal scale. That's the application I'm putting to it. On the next page is actually really track 7 with the triad stacks. It starts in this, but that's to me a whole other subject, and maybe next week. All right, thanks for listening.